welcome to my COVID testing video. If you've watched my previous vlogs, then you know that for me to go to grad school, and pretty much I know every school in the Alabama system, so that's UAB, UAH, University of Alabama, any of those, and probably a lot of other schools, you are required to get COVID testing before you can go back on campus. Well, I got my email finally about how to set up my testing. And so I kind of wanted to go through it with y'all. So I'm looking at the screen now, and I had to log in, create an account with this Healthy Verily. And then it told me that I'm gonna have to fill out an online thing every 3 days about symptoms I'm having. And then it says, if you're sick or feeling unwell, please stay at home. If you have any of these symptoms, call 911 immediately. Extreme difficulty breathing, blue color lips or face, severe and constant pain, severe constant dizziness or lightheadedness, feeling confused or difficulty getting up, slurred speech. Definitely interesting, as all of this COVID stuff has been for me, and I'm sure other people with chronic illnesses and chronic pain, because we experience symptoms like this all the time. I mean, lightheaded, dizziness, constant, always. Feeling confused, brain fog happens a lot, difficulty breathing. So it's definitely interesting with all this COVID stuff, and I know when I answer these online questions about my health, I'm always gonna have to think of it in the context of, is it abnormal? And unfortunately, a lot of those symptoms are normal for me. This portion, and it says, take your medical history into account as you answer the following questions. So this is basically kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, that at least they mentioned that only say things that you're experiencing that are not typical or worsening. So we're going on to the checklist. We have fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, not due to lack of sleep, muscle or body aches, not due to exercise, headache, loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion, runny nose, diarrhea not due to IBS, low blood pressure, including signs of cold, pale, or clammy skin, or feeling so lightheaded and weak you're not able to stand. Well, I've experienced a lot of these symptoms, but I experience a lot of these symptoms all the time. So I'm gonna click none of the above, even though I could check off 6 or 7 of these. Problem with, we have to get tested, right? Like, I have to in order to return to campus, to go to class. But in order for us to get tested for free through the system, we have to agree and consent to this. Good morning. It is super duper early. It's like 7 o'clock because it's the morning of our COVID test. I will catch you up in the car when I've woken up a little bit. So we are in the car now, on our way for our COVID test, and I say we because my brother is driving, because he also has his COVID test at the same location at around the same time. Now this is what's really weird. I got my email on a Friday to sign up, and I signed up on a Friday, and I clicked the Sunday 8 to 9 a.m. time slot, and then I was given the 8:30 to 8:45 time slot. My brother got his email on a Saturday and signed up on a Saturday, and he clicked the Sunday 8 to 9 slot, and he got 8 to 8:15? 8 to 8:15. So it's really strange that I signed up first, but he got the earlier time slot. So I don't know how they're planning this out. I don't know how they're scheduling people, but they were close enough that it was like, let's just go together, let's just drive together. So it'll be really interesting to see, but we can't go in together because our time slots aren't at the same time, and they don't want people together. So I'll wait out in the car, and it'll be interesting to see how long he has to wait, if he comes out before I go in, or what. But we'll see. We've got our little papers, so that they scan, and apparently it's a self-administered test, which is interesting. So I'll let you know all about it when we come back. brother just left for his testing. On the little sheet that you get once you sign up, it says arrive 15 minutes early, but the earliest time slot was 8, which his time slot was 8. So he's going in at 7:45. It'll be interesting to see if he's even allowed in the building, because a lot of times I feel like they say arrive, like for doctor's appointments and things, arrive early, just so you're not late usually. So I highly doubt he'll be able to get in the building or even get tested this early. I bet he's gonna have to wait 15 minutes until 8. And it'd be safer for him to wait in the car or outside than it would be to wait in the building. But like, I don't see anybody else around. Okay, I see one other person walking. So maybe they're gonna go get tested too. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping it won't take that long. I'm hoping he can come out and then I can go in at 8:15, because that would be 15 minutes early for my appointment. And we can just get boom, boom, boom and get out of here quickly before a lot of people show up. Because I know my mom was really worried that when you're in a place and they're like digging around your nose, that could potentially be releasing the virus, you know? I mean, that's why you have these people, the nurses and the techs that administer these tests wear all those PPE to protect themselves. So, and if the particles can stay in the air for like 12 minutes, then there's nothing really to protect the person being tested. So we really wanted to do an at-home test, but wasn't possible because we live in state. So I've got my mask, so I'll wear my mask and I'll just bring it down to do the nose thing and then bring it back up. So hopefully we'll see. And that's kind of the bad thing about these tests, is that they're only really good for like the day and like really like the minute you take the test, because you could be exposed to the virus any other time. So it's, yeah, I may test negative today, but you know, we're taking this test, you know, up to 14 days before you get to campus. You could catch the virus within those 14 days. So there's no guarantee that the people who are coming on campus are in fact COVID negative. So it's an interesting concept that they're trying to do. I just don't know if it's gonna pay off really. So we'll see. Update, he was not able to go in the building. I can see him sitting outside and there is a line forming. There looks like there's four other people out there right now. They look like they're keeping their social distance, so that's good. But you really shouldn't tell people to show up early if you're not gonna be ready. And like I said, I think they do that to keep people from being late, but that's really not fair to the people that are places on time. Yeah, because he could have waited in the car. But he looks like he'll be like the third person to be tested, I think. But yeah, I kind of had a fake feeling that they weren't gonna let him in the building until they were ready, which makes sense. I mean, they don't open until 8, but these people were 15 minutes early, like they said. So we're gonna go ahead and go in, because Christopher said they actually called my name when he said his last name. So I think we're gonna go ahead and go in and see if we can just get this done, even though I'm 15 minutes early for my 15 minutes early. So, yeah, let me say that. Literally like 5 minutes later and I am now done with my testing. It was interesting. I mean, would you say it was interesting?
Yeah. I
mean, we go in and there's someone there asking if you feel well and if you have an appointment and if you have your form, you say yes, and then you go in and then you go to the registration desk and they ask for your name and they put in your little code for your appointment slot. A little label there, and you like take those with you, and then they give you your vial and you take your vial with you, and then you go to one of the booths. Now they had, how many booths do you think set up?
4, I feel like 4 to 6.
4 to 6 booths
only like
set up, but they only had 2 running this morning. Maybe because they know there was low capacity or whatever. So I didn't have to wait. I just went straight up to somebody. You sit in a little chair, you hand them their labels, they put a label down.
Check your ID again.
Check your ID again. I guess they really don't want people like fake testing.
Fake student testing.
I guess, or like swap. You know how like people used to like swap urine for like drug tests?
Mm-hmm.
swap COVID tests. So you sit down in a chair and they break your little thing for you, and then you open your package with a Q-tip, and then you stick the Q-tip in your nose and they count for you out loud, and you swirl it around one nostril, and then you do it in the other nostril and you swirl it around. So it wasn't the invasive test that they do at like the drive-through testing or like at a doctor's office that you've heard about, where they like go all the way up and you're like all the way up into your sinus cavity. It was literally just like right inside your nose. And then you put it in your little vial for you, and you turn it, and then you go and you put it in like a little thing, and then somebody takes your next sticky note little label, and then you leave. So they are set up for a line with social distancing markers, so it'll be interesting to see like later in the day or like later appointments if they're busier or if they have more booths set up. There was also a random guy there with a computer off to the corner. Did you see him?
I did not see him.
I don't know what he's doing, but it was a little frustrating. Not frustrating, but like the person that I went in to check in was not wearing their mask above their nose. So that was interesting. But we'll have our results, they say, in 2 to 5 days. And they said they would either email, call, or text.
Maybe all 3.
So we don't know which one we're actually going to do. We'll see if it actually is 2 to 5 days. But they are doing pool testing, which means that they're testing like 8 to 10 is what they said on the news. It could be more than that at once. Yeah, so that they can see. So if all those test negative, then they know that everybody in that group is negative. Where then if that entire pool tests positive, then they have to go back and individually test every single one. So this is supposed to save like the reactant agents and stuff like that in time, because they're testing I don't know how many students.
Thousands.
Yeah, and faculty. So like 3 major schools, students and faculty. So we'll see. We'll let you know when the results come in and how quickly they took, but the testing was pretty quick and painless. So I would advise getting these morning appointments if you want to get in and out quickly and not have to wait in line. I just got my COVID test results. So I tested Sunday morning at 8, and it is Tuesday evening at 6. So it was close to 2 days, which I'm really surprised. But yeah, it was close to 2 days. So let's take a look and see. My date of birth. Okay, negative. Okay, so just what we thought. It's negative. Great. Okay, so this is being automatically sent to, see if there's the same thing. So they're being automatically sent to my school. So I got the results much quicker than I expected, which is good. I'm assuming that means that my entire pool tested negative because it took such a short amount of time, which is really awesome. And the results are negative, which we expected. Yeah, which means I can return to campus. It's definitely been a very interesting that this is a new thing that you have to do now is to do this, which is crazy. And I'm still kind of scared to return to school. Even with this testing measure, I don't think it's really as preventative as people think it's going to be, but it's good. But yeah, it's definitely been an experience. But as of Sunday, 8 a.m., I was COVID negative. So that's really good. Definitely been interesting. I'm sure a lot of you are going through this kind of experience too, having to test for school. Yeah, but that was my journey with COVID testing for school.